Hello everyone. What happened on the last 2 days in the US market? Why it had a roller coaster ride? Second, updates regarding Lenskart and Groww IPO subscription status. And third, why Adani stocks might be on focus today. All this we are going to discuss in this regular pre-market report video for today, 6th November 2025 for the Indian stock market in terms of Nifty and Bank Nifty. First, about what happened in the last 2 days in the US market. On Tuesday night, two of the biggest US banks, Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs CEOs, both gave their respective individual warning about US stock market overvaluation. Morgan Stanley CEO said there is a high possibility of 10 to 15% correction, whereas the Goldman Sachs CEO said that the tech companies' PE ratio are full, meaning it's all overvalued. Hence, in response on Tuesday, Nasdaq was the major dragger, fell over 2%, S&P 500 fell 1% and Dow Jones fell 0.5%. So, yesterday early morning, GIFT Nifty fell to 25,550 mark, equating that with the spot market. At that time, it's an indication of 150 to 200 points gap down opening. However, last night it was okay, rebounded little bit. In US, yesterday there was a trial against Donald Trump regarding whether he got the power to introduce the tariff or not. Already two lower courts, Appeal Court and Court of International Trade, both ruled that it's not in Trump's power and Trump exceeded his authority kind of. So, US government appealed in the Supreme Court and yesterday that case had the hearing. The odds of Trump winning the case fell to 27%, which in turn made the market positive. But please note, yesterday they haven't reached the verdict. As far as I know, and when I'm trying to search from Forbes, it said that Supreme Court could reach verdict anytime between now and June 2026. From that, it seems we are not going to get the verdict anytime sooner. Anyway, last night Dow Jones increased 0.48%, S&P 500 was up by 0.37% and Nasdaq increased 0.65%. In case of VIX, it dropped 5% and moved to 18 from 19 on Tuesday night. About oil, US crude oil inventories showed that their inventories increased by 5.2 million barrels last week against the expectation of 600,000 barrels, which in turn increased the fear of oversupply, and there was a report released that this oversupply could last throughout the 2026 calendar year as well. So yesterday oil prices fell 1 to 2%. At the time of this video, Brent crude trading at 63.5 US dollars per barrel, whereas WTI crude traded at 59.5 US dollars per barrel. Moving to Indian ADR, in the last 2 days compared to Monday, banking stocks fell significantly, like HDFC Bank ADR about 2% and ICICI Bank ADR around 1.5%, whereas the IT stocks didn't fall that much. So if we calculate the arbitrage, both the banking stocks indicating the negative 1% difference, whereas on the other hand, both the IT stocks ADR and Reliance GDR flat to positive. However, that ADR negativity was not seen in the GIFT Nifty. Early morning today, it traded at 25,785, equating that with the spot market. For now, it's indicating the gap up opening of 70 to 150 points. So, those were the things happened in the dollar market. Moving to India related info. First, about IPO updates. Lenskart IPO closed yesterday and it was subscribed 28 times on its last day. Qualified institutions subscribed 40 times, NIIs subscribed 18 times, and retail investors subscribed 7.5 times. So, overall, the subscription was very strong, much better than what we saw on day 2. And the grey market premium has gone down to 49 rupees, indicating a listing price at 451 rupees with a premium of 12%. So Lenskart listing is scheduled for November 10th. We need to see how it performs on the listing day. Then about Groww IPO, the first day of bidding came to a close with 57% subscriptions. Qualified institutions subscribed 10%, NII subscribed 59%, and retail investors subscribed around 2 times. So retail investors showed good interest on day one itself. We need to see how the overall subscription goes in the upcoming days. Then the second important news, Fitch upgraded Adani Ports, Adani Green and Adani Electricity's outlooks to stable from negative. This is very positive for all Adani Group stocks. So today all those Adani stocks will be on focus. As a summary, in the last 2 days, US market had a roller coaster ride. First, big bank CEOs warned about overvaluation, which made the market fall. Then Trump's tariff case hearing made the market rebound. Oil prices fell on oversupply fears, which is positive for oil marketing companies but negative for oil producers. Indian banking ADRs fell significantly, but GIFT Nifty indicating 70 to 150 points gap up opening. Don't know why this divergence. Moving on about institution, in the cash market for the fifth session in a row, FI was net sellers. Last Tuesday, the net sold for 1050 crore rupees, whereas DAA net bought for 1200 crore rupees. Moving to the participant-wise open interest analysis, as we know, last Tuesday was index options weekly expiry, but option open interest unwound like monthly expiry. I mean, 45% of the call option open interest and 37% of the put option open interest either unwound or expired, whereas the index future open interest actually added by 4%. Because of more call option open interest unwound, the PCR ratio increased to 0.92 from 0.8. Then, based on the remaining open interest, the positioning was actually skewed more on one side, client against FII and proprietary traders. Client holding 18% of their open interest favoring bullish position. On the other hand, FII and proprietary traders each holding net 8.3% of their open interest favoring bearish position. In the index future also, client increased their long position. As of Tuesday end, they are holding 69% of their open interest on the long side. Whereas on the other hand, FII and proprietary traders having 85% and 54% of their open interest respectively on the short side. So it's very clear retail traders are very bullish, whereas FII and proprietary traders are bearish. But there is a probability for the short covering. Then, as per stock open interest, Hero MotoCorp, Page Industries, Divi's Lab, CDSL, Adani Enterprise, and Ashok Leyland are some of the 98 stocks that got an increase in open interest along with a negative close, which indicates the short buildup. On the other hand, Power Grid, SBI, Delivery, M&M, Lupin, Biocon, and Yes Bank are some of the 21 stocks that got an increase in open interest with a positive price close, which means these stocks got the long buildup. About the things to look out, earnings wise, LIC, Cummins, Apollo Hospital, Mankind Pharma, Zydus Life Science, Bajaj Housing, Lupin, NHPC, Godrej Properties, About India, and PNG are the companies scheduled to release their results. So, financial services, pharma, and real estate sectors will be on focus. Macro-wise, during our market time, India's October month service payment data is due. In October, the preliminary data fell to 58.8 from 60.9 in September. Here, even though it decreased from September, 58.8 is still very strong number. So, as long as it comes around that level, we don't need to worry. In addition, in the afternoon, UK interest rate decision is due, expecting Bank of England to keep the rate unchanged at 4%. And in the night for US, weekly jobless claims data is scheduled. Coming technical, last Tuesday, Nifty opened 20 points gap down and was under pressure throughout the session, then closed at around 25,600. Thus, on the daily chart, Nifty formed a long bearish candle with minor upper shadow and continued the lower high lower low formation for another session. In addition, it dropped below 10 and 20-day exponential moving average but still held above 50 and 100-day exponential moving average. Furthermore, RSI fell to 52, showing a bearish crossover, while MACD turned negative with a crossover. So, both indicating a weakening short-term trend. Hence, if Nifty sustains below 25,600, then 25,500 to 25,400 level will be key support zones to watch. On the upside, resistance might be at 25,750 to 25,800 level, above which 25,600 could be possible. In case of Bank Nifty, it opened 130 points gap down and was under pressure throughout the session, then closed at near 57,830. Thus, on the daily chart, Bank Nifty formed a bearish candle with upper and lower shadow within the previous day's range, resembling an inside bar pattern, however, sustaining above the short and medium term moving averages. In addition, RSI fell to 60, continuing its negative crossover, while MACD had a bearish crossover, both indicating a bearish outlook for the short term. I mean, Bank Nifty is still holding above the previous breakout point of 57,630. Hence, if it manages to defend 57,630, then a short-term relief rally could be possible. But a decisive break below 57,630 could lead to further weakness. On the higher side, 58,580 could act as the strong hurdle. Regarding the options front, the maximum call option openers was at 26,000 strike, followed by 25,800 and 25,700, with maximum new call option rating at 26,000, 25,700 and 25,800 strike. On the put side, the maximum openers was at 25,000 strike, followed by 25,200 and 25,250, with maximum new put option rating at 25,200, 25,000 and 25,250 strike. Thus, from options data, Nifty is expected to trade in 25,200 to 25,800 range in the short term, with 25,000 to 26,000 being the broader range. So that's all in this video. Hope you got some useful information. Please consider subscribing the channel and liking the video so that it will help me beat the YouTube algorithm and also motivate me to do more. Please don't make any investment based on this, as I'm not a SEBI registered advisor. I'm doing this for me and viewers educational purpose only. Thanks for watching.